Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're exploring a fascinating psychological principle that shapes many of our decisions: loss aversion. Loss aversion refers to our tendency to prefer avoiding losses over acquiring equivalent gains. In simple terms, we feel the pain of losing something about twice as intensely as the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. It's like having an emotional scale where losing $100 feels twice as bad as the joy of finding $100. Our brains are literally wired to be more sensitive to losses than gains. The discovery of loss aversion has a fascinating history. In the 1970s, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky conducted a series of experiments that challenged traditional economic theories. In one famous study, they asked participants to choose between a sure gain of $3,000 or an 80% chance of winning $4,000. Most people chose the sure gain. However, when faced with a sure loss of $3,000 or an 80% chance of losing $4,000, most people chose to gamble. This seemingly irrational behavior revealed how our fear of loss can override logical decision-making. It's like our brains have a built-in alarm system that screams louder for potential losses than potential gains. In the business world, Apple's iPhone trade-in program provides a compelling example of how companies leverage loss aversion. Rather than simply advertising the cost of a new iPhone, Apple emphasizes how much customers can save through their trade-in program. By highlighting that customers could lose out on up to $800 in trade-in value by not upgrading, they tap into loss aversion psychology. They transform what could feel like a loss, spending money on a new phone, into a potential loss of savings. It's like they're showing you money that's already yours, waiting to be claimed, rather than a cost you need to bear. So how can we apply our understanding of loss aversion in our daily lives? Firstly, we can reframe our decisions to focus on gains rather than losses. Instead of thinking about losing weight, focus on gaining health. Instead of giving up free time to exercise, think about investing in your well-being. It's like changing the labels on your mental filing system to highlight opportunities rather than sacrifices. Secondly, we can use loss aversion to our advantage when setting goals. Research shows that people are more likely to stick to their goals if they have something to lose. For example, making a public commitment or putting money on the line can be powerful motivators. It's like creating your own accountability system, where the fear of losing face or money helps drive positive behavior. Thirdly, we can become better decision makers by recognizing when loss aversion might be clouding our judgment. Are you holding on to a losing investment because you can't bear to sell at a loss? Are you keeping clothes you never wear because you paid good money for them? Awareness of loss aversion can help us make more rational choices. It's like having a mental filter that helps us distinguish between legitimate concerns and irrational fears of loss. In conclusion, loss aversion is a powerful force that shapes our decisions in both subtle and significant ways. By understanding this mental model, we can better recognize when our fear of loss might be holding us back and make more balanced, rational decisions. Remember, sometimes the fear of losing something good prevents us from gaining something better. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, may your decisions be balanced, your fears be managed, and your gains be greater than your losses. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by the podcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free music.